Hello friends, so in my today's video, I am going to introduce IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. Previously, I have made many videos on how to write your essay, the format of that, and after that I received so many requests that I should make videos on part 1 also. So from today onwards, I am going to make a series of lectures for IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. Today will be the first class, the first video, and I will be posting the videos in a series only, like from class 1, class 2, class 3. Accordingly, you will be having lectures for it. So in today's video, I am just going to talk about the do's and don'ts of your IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. Means, what are the things that you should do and you should not do in your graph, right? So the very first thing we are going to talk about is, in your graph, do not use I, we or you. I, we or you means you cannot use any personal pronoun. It is a graph given to you and you just need to explain the graph, whatever you see into that. If you see, like if you say I can see, we can see, so why? Can you see something different that I cannot see in the graph? Everybody sees the same thing, right? So instead of writing I can see or we can see, that will decrease your score. You need to write it can be noticed or witnessed. So it can be seen, it can be noticed, it can be witnessed. That would be a better approach instead of writing I can see or we can see. So this is prohibited in your graph. The second thing is, do not give any reasons, do not give effects, and do not give any solutions. So if you see, like what happens if you get a graph, they will be explaining about the sale of a company. So the sale of a company is increasing. You should not give your reasons that why it is increasing, right? Neither you need to write the effect of it or the solutions. Let's say if you find a problem that the crime is increasing in city. So crime is increasing and you start writing your own perception, your own mindset. Okay, crime is increasing because of this reason and these are the preventive measures. Okay, so this is not your essay, dear, right? So they are just asking the interpretation of the graph. You need to understand and you need to explain, you need to write what exactly is there in the picture, in the graph. You need not use your brain to think beyond that. There is no requirement, okay? So no reasons, no effect, no solution. Graph is basically data interpretation. Data interpretation, whatever the numbers are given in that picture, you need to understand that. You need to be calculative and present the same information. That's it, nothing else. Then no personal knowledge of given graph is required. Sometimes what happens when you get a process chart, so many of the students, they get skeptical, they get scared that since we are not from that particular background and we do not know anything about it. So if you don't know anything about it, that is none of your business, because whatever the graph is, that graph would be same for each and every candidate. Whether the candidate is undergraduate, graduate or postgraduate, everybody would get the same question paper in final exam. So this is just of a common interest. If you don't know, that is okay. You need to be patient, you need to be calm, presence of mind, and try to understand what exactly is the information given in the picture. So that picture, that graph will itself tell each and everything that should be written down in the response. Next is, try to avoid using direct figures. So direct figures means if you say like once it was 40%, then it reduced to 10%. So instead of asking like from 40 to 10, you could better write that 1/4. Okay, so writing 1/4 would be a better option instead of only giving numbers again and again, because that is not your mathematical exam. If you write so many numbers, 10%, 40%, 50%, 75%, 80%, so you are not writing for math, you are writing for English. English means your skills of English should be shown into the graph, into the response. So you should write some comparative figures like 1/4, double or triple. It might be half, 2 times, 1 in 10. So in that way you need to use such words and make comparisons instead of only giving the numbers again and again. I hope I am clear for that. The next is tenses. Tenses are most important and that is always a question mark for the student. They do not know which tense they should use. So the very first is, if you get a past tense, when to use past tense? When past years are given in the graph. If you say 1980, 1950, 1850, whatever the past year is, if it is a past year, you need to use past tense. The next, if you think the word like survey or research, if these words are there in the question, like a survey was conducted and these are the findings of the survey. So survey was conducted means it was already carried out. So you need to use second form of verb. Past tense means use second form of verb. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is with increase and decrease, we never use was or were. We cannot write it was increased or it was decreased. It is it increased, it decreased. If you write it was increased, that would be grammatically wrong. So just very simple, if it is increase or decrease, straight away write second form. It increased, it decreased. The next is where to use present tense. If you find that the present year is given, present year, let's say if you say it is 2020 going on and in the graph they have given 2020, so that is present year. So in that case you need to use present tense. If you find that in the entire graph there is no year given, no year given means you cannot figure it out whether it is of past or future. So it is neither of past nor of future. It means it is of present. So if no year is given, that is again you need to write in present tense. And in fact the question state no survey, no research, nothing is there. So you cannot figure out any year. So write it in present tense. And whenever you write in present tense, you need to use the first form of verb. First form means present tense. And something which is exactly the most important is flow charts. All the flow charts and all the process chart will always be written in present tense. So in case of a flow chart or a process chart, even you need not think about years because years are never given in that. Okay, so just keep focused that these are always in present tense and in passive voice. Passive voice means you need to follow the grammatical structure like is, are plus third form. Then we use by plus subject because we need to make it a passive voice. If you have a subject, you can use it after by, otherwise straight away you can return. Okay, like it is collected, it is washed. Now when to use future tense? Future tense is used when you get future years. So when future years are there, let's say it is 2025. So 2025 is a future year, we'll be using future tense. Then if it is shows that expected figures are there, estimated value, outline project, all these are the words which signify future. So in everything you need to use future. And another thing is instead of using will, if you use would, that would be a better option because will is something that is definite. It will happen in future, but would is an imaginary. So whenever the figures are given in graph, these are always imaginary. These are not hard and fast that definitely it will happen, right? So we use would. So this is all about like what are the things that you need to keep in mind when you plan your graph, whatever the graph it would be, but it would always be hard and fast that these kind of like tips will be followed. So you can just watch all the videos. I will be keep on sharing all the videos time to time and you can learn about graph with that. Okay, so keep learning with me. All the best.